Morning, everyone. Welcome to the training session about the annual reporting, specifically about the pilot. First thing to say, I suppose, is if you're here for anything else but ITP and ICP Connect projects, you're in the wrong session, let's say. Totally wrong, because many things are the same as the regular reporting, but the info session about the regular reporting is at 2 this afternoon. So you can still switch if you like. The meeting is being recorded, as you see. Hopefully that's okay for everyone. So let's begin. The agenda for today. I'll be talking hopefully no more than 30 minutes. Give a small introduction, of course, tell you about how to access the tool to use for the reporting, our grant management platform, tell you how to upload and for the pilot also import part of your report, how to submit your report, and how communication will take place between us and you. The meeting recording, of course, will also be shared afterwards in the video manual library, of which you can find a link inside the reporting dossier. So we went live yesterday. Hopefully everyone, and with everyone, I mean all ECOS-Geo and all promoters of all projects received an email yesterday telling you that we are live, which basically means that for your project, you will have found, hopefully, a new dossier, an annual reporting 2024-2025 dossier inside the tool. The tool is mostly the same as last year and the year before, so nothing much has changed in the regular reporting. Although some things are different for the pilot, although I think some of the ICP Connect projects also already piloted last year. And I can assure you that there is no difference between the pilot last year and the pilot this year. So rest assured. But for those who are new, and especially for those who are new to reporting at all, I'll give you the full explanation, of course. So the difference mostly is that apart from the APR and the indicators files, which still have to be uploaded, to the tool, the AFR, the financial information, needs to be imported, and I'll show you how or what the difference is between both. And we are using a dashboard in which we show you the total details of the AFR, where we will do our review, and we expect you to answer the questions that we asked there. So we launched yesterday, and we told you. There is a SharePoint site also, the reporting hub, of which you already know, I hope. Let me show you, which is this site, of which also a link can be found inside the dossier in the introduction. It contains all information regarding the reporting, so the essential formats, which have been on there for a few months, of course, the financial framework, the training manual, how to use the tool, also a document, and of course links to the video manual library as well as news and updates, including the post or email that we sent you yesterday. So you can find everything you require on this website, except of course the tool where you'll have to do your report yourself. The tool, how can you reach it? By going to landing.connect.virtuos.be. It's a landing page which shows you basically all the institutions, Flemish institutions to which you can be affiliated. Choose the correct one by clicking on it, and it'll take you to the tool itself. So this is what the grant management platform looks like. It's probably known to you because you've already submitted your proposal, maybe you reported once or twice before. It's here that you'll see the new dossier, which will look like this: annual report 24, 25. So if you click it, you'll see that there is no difference except one difference with last year. So you'll have an introduction which explains to you a few things about some general things like navigation in the tool. How does that work? How to grant access to team members as users. I'll go into depth in that later. About the dashboard, also very interesting. I'll tell you about that as well. And about the validation flow, how to submit. But before I deep dive, let's go to PowerPoint again for the access. So who has access already? Flemish promoters and partner promoters. Flemish promoters are dossier admins, partner promoters are just members. Difference there is that members cannot submit, so only dossier admins can actually submit the dossier. Apart from that, there is no difference. And you can, so with you, I mean anyone who has access to the dossier already, so also ECOS, also Geo, they can add users or team members as users yourselves. And before I show you how, but you already probably know, there is a difference to note here between having access to the tool, to the dossier, and actually receiving all the emails, which more later. There is no link between the two. There can be by accident, but it doesn't mean as if you have access to the tool, that you will receive all the emails or vice versa. Normally, I would expect anyone to have access to the tool also to receive the emails, but the email list is different. Email list starts at this point with all promoters. If you want anybody else also to receive the emails, you can, of course, contact us at reporting@viruros.be. So before going into the actual tool format, there is a users module down below where you can add the user by just adding the user, type a name, type an email address, and then give them the correct permission. Student permission is not valid or relevant in reporting. And as I explained, the difference between dossier admin and member, members can view, edit everything you give them specific access to, so module per se. Dossier admins can view and edit everything and can also submit, which is an important difference. So that's how you gain access to the dossier. How to upload the report. So for the pilot, for ITP and ICP Connect, there's two different ways to do it. I mean, not different ways, but for different types of files, you have to do it in a different way. There is a module called report, which is basically the same as last year. It tells you that there is a GDPR statement that you agree on by reporting, let's say, automatically. There are different boxes, one for the APR, the annual progress report, one for the indicators. You can click on choose file, upload the file or files. There are multiple for IUC, for example, that would be the case. You can do that in one time, so you don't have to do it one by one. You can also give us some feedback. There's a box on the APR to give feedback. Don't forget to click save, of course, very important. And there is some information at the bottom about the declaration at the very end. That's for us only, so a read-only field anyway, so you can simply ignore it. So the GDPR statement. The AFR is, of course, to be important. So there's some explanation about that here. You can still give feedback on the AFR, like a general feedback that you might want to give to us. You can upload the APR file in a Word format here and the indicators in an Excel format. As I said, just choose file or files, multiple, and just add them here. Just do that right quick. can save. And as I said, you can give some feedback, which we will receive by email, by the way, here. You can also upload other files, any kind. The idea, though, is not to upload any proofs here. Proofs are only to be uploaded from second submission onwards after first review, when we deliberately or specifically ask for one or more proofs, expenditures to be added. So let's save that information. So that's how you upload part of the report, APR and indicators. Now the AFR, as opposed to the regular reporting, doesn't have to be uploaded, but imported, right? It's fairly the same procedure as we already asked you to do in the proposal. If you still remember, you had to import your budget, your team members and activities, if I'm correct. Same thing here. There is an import button that you can click, choose the file, and click add. So I'll show you how. So that is in the expenditures, which is of course a new module for you. There's some explanation here, the same explanation I'm giving you now. If you click import, choose the file, and click add. This is a very important note to make. The remove all data checkbox is checked. Leave it checked. This means, of course, that you will replace any data already there, which of course there is no data at the very beginning. But if there is already from an earlier import that you're not happy with, just leave that on. So it'll completely replace the old data with any new data that you import. If you don't check it, it'll just add on top. So that's of course not the idea. And then simply click add, it'll process the file. And there you go. The difference with any regular imports from previous proposals, for example, is that it doesn't actually import it right away. It's doing it in the backend. It's processing it right now. Up to 5 minutes later, you'll receive an email confirming that it was successful. Hopefully, normally it will always be successful. And if there is no pop-up, which there wasn't, then the import has started. There are no problems with the file. And if there were problems, show you, there is one problem that might arise, and that is due to the fact that we updated the format probably a little bit later than we anticipated. If you're using an older format, probably from somewhere before the update in August, I think, or in July, it could be that some columns are missing. The new format contains all of the review columns already there. Not for you to fill in, of course, only afterwards they will be filled in by us and by you by communicating about the review. If you're using the old format, you will get this pop-up. You will get an error, which isn't actually an error. It simply states that it's looking for those columns and they are missing. If you overrule the header error and click OK, it should just import the file like any other new format, let's say. So there's no real issue there, just a small hiccup. I'm not going to do it now because it's busy importing. In the case that you import a new file whilst the old one is still importing, you haven't received your email yet, it'll simply overwrite the old version. You get 2 emails, of course, and the newest version is the one that will be imported. And a very important remark to make here, you won't be able to submit if an import action is still ongoing. That seems logical, of course. You'll also, when you click the submit button, you'll get a pop-up telling you that you cannot submit yet. So that's fairly logical. Okay, so if you've done all that, you've uploaded your files, you've imported your You've imported your AFR. You go to the submit button. Let's try. It will probably tell you that it's not possible. Okay, it's already done then in the backend. So it's a maximum of 5 minutes. So the actual import action might not take 5 minutes, probably take less. But the email, the automatic email that's being sent is kicked every 5 minutes. So that's why it's up to 5 minutes until you get the email. So you've submitted now to the ECOS and Geo, if you are the promoter, of course, which will then tell you that the ECOS or Geo is validating your submission. They might send it back to you if something is still missing or incorrect, or they will submit it through to Virios. And of both instances, you will get an email, you will get confirmation email that you submitted correctly to the ECOS, and one that the ECOS or Geo has submitted through to us. So you'll be notified of every step along the way. And for the pilot, it's less likely, but if it's mostly in the AFR, we feel as if something is off about the quality of the file, we might send it back as a bad quality, let's say, case before we start our review, and you get the chance to do a resubmission, of course. Depending on the Flemish institution's policy or agreement with you as the promoter, let's say, it might differ. Normally, the general flow would be Flemish promoter submits to ECOS and Geo, they submit through to us. Sometimes the agreement is that ECOS and Geo do both steps, right? And they upload or import themselves. Please ask, of course, the ECOS and Geo of your institution, because we have no knowledge of which agreement exists. After import was successful, and this is an important part for the pilot, there is a dashboard which I accessed by clicking on the dashboard module inside the dossier. Don't be confused, but you will be. That's why I'm saying it specifically now. This isn't the correct button. This is the correct button. It's the button dashboard inside your dossier, which opens a new tab containing the dashboard. It contains some information on project level and the current financial status, excluding the data that you're reporting on now, of course, because they have not been validated yet. There's no data here because it's a test project, of course. Data isn't in here yet. Okay. Okay, so it would look something like this. You have the overview, which looks sort of the same like in the Excel file. Be sure to check this before you submit. After you've done your import, check the data. Are the totals at least the same? Then you're fine. If it's not the same, something else might be wrong. If you can't figure out what, then of course you can contact us. For the rest, it's exactly the same blueprint as the AFR, so all details are in here, including even the extra columns of the review. And there's a difference. There's for Belgian expenditures and for partner expenditures, two types of tables. There's the table below, the all expenditures table, which is an exact copy of the AFR file, showing you all the rows, all the expenditures. Same for partner expenditures, all expenditures. And on top, the first table in both Belgian and partner is a separate table, expenditures with comments. Here you'll find all the expenditures we might have a comment on or a question. And I've made two here and also in partner. You'll see the comments here also. See that we asked for justification in this case as well. And the idea would be here you no longer upload or import any file. So the file itself, the Excel file for the pilot, is only to prepare and do a first submission by importing it as a data file. Afterwards, after first review and later on, if there are multiple reviews, we expect you to answer the comments inside the tool by using the dashboard. Right? So you'll notice that these are not clickable, but these are, right? So all of the rows, all of the expenditures that have comments still are clickable. You can click it, which will bring you to the specific expenditure format, pivoted, let's say, because all the information is from top to bottom then. And you can answer the comment here by answering in the correct column, second submission in this case. And or, depending on what we asked you to do, change the information. Now, let me give you an example for partner. More elaborate. Because of the import action, let's say, all data has been flattened. So it's just pure data now. There's no formulas in between. Like the Excel file, there were formulas calculating the different steps, going from amount local to amount euro, giving you the correct currency and exchange rates. So be mindful if we ask you to change a local amount, for example, the amount euro won't change automatically. You'll have to calculate it yourself. Only for those very few, hopefully, rows or expenditures that we ask you to change, this will be a small hiccup. Although there are ways to facilitate this, you can go back to the expenditures in total and try to export the file again, which will give you the total file. It'll won't give you the formulas, but then you'll be able to use the format to calculate or use your initial file. Let's say if you input the local amount there, then you'll get the calculated new amount euro, which you can copy over to the tool. The idea then is that you resubmit, not forgetting that there is also the regular reporting about APR and indicators. Those will come back to you as files. You'll see it like this. So as a reviewed file to the right, this is your original file. Once that's final, so we have no more comments on either the APR or the indicators, you'll see it as a final file, and you'll notice that you won't be able to choose new files to upload. If it's not final yet, of course, it has a Visuals extension. You can download it and answer the remarks in the file and choose file and re-upload a new version and submit that one. So as we go, we finalize the files. They will be on the right. You won't be able to add new files there. How we finalize the AFR is by funneling you through the comments, and you'll see that there is an OK, let's say, given on each of those rows, and they will disappear from the upper table. So you'll see everything, keep seeing everything updated in the all expenditures table. But for every comment, let's say that's been resolved, the row is removed from here. And once there is no data in both expenditures with comments tables, you can consider the AFR to be final. You'll receive word about this, of course, that everything is final and that you're supposed to declare the final numbers, but more on that later on. So that's about the dashboard. I explained all of this. All right, so a word on the proofs. So as I showed you before, we might ask you to give some justification, which means that you will have to provide 3 different types of files on which more explanation is given here. So there's an extra tab already visible, which is slightly different from last year from the beginning, although it's not necessary to be avoided to also already provide us with proofs in first submission, because we haven't asked you for any. If we've asked you from second submission onwards, you can add them here as PDF files. There's explanation here also in the reporting instructions on how to exactly name these files and upload them. So you can provide them here. You can adjust your feedback, of course, if you do a second submission. And then we progress until everything is final. And when it's final, we just... right, so maybe a word on the versions as well. So once we have reopened the file for a second submission, you'll start noticing that there are multiple versions here. If you cycle through them, you'll probably be able to see the previous submission, just as a picture of what happened then. Be mindful though, the dashboard will always contain the latest numbers. So even if you cycle through to a previous version, it won't show the previous version of the dashboard or of the AFR there. It's only the most final one. Okay, so re-import is not possible, as I said. Clicking on the dashboard will allow you to click on the rows. Each individual row can be adjusted, answer to the comment, make changes to the information. And also in very special cases, very rarely, we would have asked you to either add new information, add new rows, or split out one individual expenditure into multiple ones. You won't be able to add anything unless we add it for you. So we will add new expenditure rows with new IDs. They will also pop up in the table with expenditures comments, and there you can add the information manually. And as I said, final report means no more expenditures in the expenditures with comments table in the dashboard. Right, so when it's final, you'll receive not an email to resubmit any new files or any new AFR information, but just a question to validate the final numbers. It's the same as in the regular reporting, although validating means validating the numbers in the dashboard. So we would at that point open up a new tab here. And so you'll receive an email. If you go to the tool format afterwards, you'll see a new module, declaration of final AFR, popping up here. And you'll have to, as the Flemish promoter here, have to confirm that, yes, I confirm the numbers, give your full name, give the date when you do. If in the very rare occasion you do not agree with the numbers in the dashboard, you can tell us why, and of course say no. Save that information and submit. That's pretty much the only thing you have to do in that final submission, which will also, of course, be validated by the ECOS and GEO. And once we receive your validation, you will then receive the next day an email containing, as a PDF file, a declaration letter containing all of the financial information as is, containing also or including the validated numbers of this reporting year, and your information that you input here as a stamp of approval on the document. And afterwards, you'll get, I think, 7 days or something to tell us by email then that you're not agreeing with those numbers, but we've never had that problem before, so I don't expect it to happen now either. That's pretty much all I mentioned here. And a quick word on communication, and that's actually my final slide already. Of course, your feedback in the tool, which you can give in each subsequent submission, is provided to us through automatic emails, but you will also receive a number of automatic emails, of which Ecos and Geo are always in CC. So you'll receive one prior to first submission after you've successfully imported the AFR, in which sort of check boxes that you can submit if you are also already uploaded the other files. You'll receive one after you've submitted to the EcosGeo. As I mentioned before, you'll receive one when the EcosGeo submits through to us. You also receive one when we've reviewed the files and we open the dossier. So each time we cycle through it, hopefully only once, sometimes twice or even thrice. And at the very end, as I just mentioned, after you submitted your declaration that the numbers are okay, you'll receive a final email telling you that everything has been validated, including a file with all the numbers. Okay, so that concludes my explanation. So I've talked 30 minutes on the dot almost, so that's a good time. Good time management, if I do say so myself. There is room, half an hour even, for Q&A. I think there are also a few of my colleagues here, so if you have technical questions, hopefully I'll be able to answer them. If you have any questions about the contents, about the financial information or reporting, I hope one of my colleagues will be able to answer. So raise your hand, I would say, if there are any questions. If there aren't, hopefully everything is clear. No questions for now. Everything is clear. Okay. So let me remind you that the recording of the meeting today, or the training session, will be shared on the website. So you can rewatch as many times as you like. There is also going to be a recording of this afternoon session, of course, which 90% is the same as this one, just with the differences of the pilot, let's say. Okay. If there are no further questions, if there are questions in the future, there is one address to direct them to. It's reporting@viruos.be, and myself and a number of my colleagues follow up on this inbox as fast as we can. So we'll hopefully be able to help you. Okay, thank you for joining them, and good luck with your reporting. There's chat. People asking things in the chat. Sorry. Okay, no questions in the chat either. All right, then we can adjourn. Thank you for joining, and good luck with your reporting this year.